That's fine. Yeah. You need that.
I guess you could say that.
But we are on
We'd have to flag go.
Call to order the Avery County Board of Commissioners meeting for March the 24th, 2024. And Miss Martha, would you lead us in prayer?
Our kind, gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day. We thank you for each one that has come out to hear the business of the county and stay involved in the county. And we pray, Lord, to just lead us in the right way in our decisions. Amen.
Amen. Stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Mr. Whitney, would you lead us, please?
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Before we get started, I'm going to, if you would like to speak to the agenda item or a public comment, or even some of the family or anybody that wants to speak on the naming of the bridge after late Senator Jim Hughes, you can sign up in the back, and so that'll be taken care of. Okay. We'll go to 3.2A, proclamations and awards. Mr. Manager.
We have several boards, so we will go through those. So the first one is a proclamation recognizing the 50th anniversary of Tommy Burleson's NC State Team's National Collegiate Championship. So Tommy, this is an honor. Whereas Tommy Burleson is an Avery County native and helped lead Newland High School and Avery County High School basketball teams to winning seasons during his high school career. And whereas Tommy Burleson continued this leadership and winning seasons during his time at NC State University. And whereas Tommy Burleson was part of the North Carolina State University NCAA National Championship team in March of 1974. And whereas March 2024 is the 50th anniversary of NC State's University winning the NCAA National Championship. And whereas the Avery County Board of Commissioners recognizes this great accomplishment. And whereas this brings nationwide recognition and distinction to all of Avery County, now therefore be it proclaimed that the Avery County Board of Commissioners hereby publicly recognizes Tommy Burleson as a member of the 1974 NCAA National Championship team and celebrates the 50th anniversary of this great accomplishment, adopted this the 4th day of March, 2024. So Mr. Burleson, if you'll come forward.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Phillips. Thank you very much.
They want a picture, so you might as well.
Good picture.
Y'all set that behind.
And I want to say thank you to the commissioners. I was a 2-term county commissioner, and from 92 go forward, Martha, Dennis, we replaced every school in every county. Rebuilt it from Cranberry Freedom Trail all the way to the Newland High School when I was retired. Thank you guys for being such great leaders in this county. I appreciate this. The way we won as a national championship was as a team. And when I worked for Avery County, it was a team. And I appreciate Mr. Barrier, and I appreciate, of course, Mr. Phillips and everybody, as we worked as a team, and we got a lot of things accomplished. God bless you, and thank you, and God the Father keep guiding us every day.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Barrier. And Mr. Phillips does not want me reminding that I was 8-1 against Carolina. One loss still. Thank you.
One. Okay, next we have a resolution supporting.
Hang on just a minute, we need to make a motion for that resolution.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I need a motion to adopt the resolution supporting the National Fair Housing Month.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so I will read the Fair Housing Month resolution. April marks the anniversary of the Fair Housing Act of 1968, which sought to eliminate discrimination in housing opportunities. And whereas Avery County desires that all citizens be afforded the opportunity to attain a decent, safe, and sound living environment. And whereas the state of North Carolina enacted the North Carolina State Fair Housing Act in 1983, now therefore be it resolved, Avery County does hereby join the national celebration by proclaiming April 2024 as Fair Housing Month. Adopted this the 4th day of March 2024. We good?
And we do have one additional thing. We need to go back and the resolution for Tommy Burleson, that needs to be approved.
Okay.
Need a motion, recognize the 5th anniversary of Tom Burleson's NC State Team National Collegiate Championship.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so need a motion for this proclamation on the Disabilities Awareness Month. We done that?
No, it's
Okay.
right.
Okay.
National Fair Housing Month.
Yeah, well, we done that. Start with.
We did do
We done that. Start with. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
I'll read the proclamation
Yeah, go
and
ahead.
then we'll ask for a motion. Okay, proclamation recognizing March as the Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. Whereas in 1987, President Ronald Reagan declared March as Developmental Disability Awareness Month to increase public awareness of the needs and the potential of Americans with developmental disabilities and to provide encouragement and opportunities to lead productive lives and reach their full potential. Whereas every person, regardless of their abilities, has valuable strength, infinite capacity to learn, and can be productive, contributing members of our community. And whereas orange is the official color of Developmental Awareness Month, the color symbolizing energy and positivity, and will be recognized with hanging orange bows. And whereas Yellow Mountain Enterprises, through their services, provides opportunities for Avery County citizens with developmental disabilities to lead rich and productive lives. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Avery County Board of Commissioners hereby publicly proclaims March as Developmental Disability Awareness Month. Adopted this the 4th day of March 2024.
I need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And I do have an orange ribbon from Yellow Mountain for each of the commissioners, so pass them down.
I would like to say that I have been on the board at Yellow Mountain and I have really seen a lot of good work done. And I want to thank each one that works at Yellow Mountain and what they do for Avery County.
This also explains the orange bows on the light posts, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you.
Okay, next we have a proclamation recognizing March 29th as National Vietnam War Veterans Day. Whereas the Vietnam War was a military conflict that took place from 1959 to 1975, And whereas in 1962, the United States became involved in the adversary capacity in support of the South Vietnam to stop the spread of communism. And whereas in 1965, American troops began to arrive in Vietnam. And whereas the Vietnam War had more Avery County citizens served in the military than any other war. And whereas these veterans deserve honor and acknowledgement, and many did not return home. And whereas on March 29, 1973, the last U.S. military forces were pulled out of South Vietnam, now therefore it be proclaimed that the Avery County Board of Commissioners hereby publicly proclaim March 29th as Vietnam War Veterans Day, adopted this the 4th day of March 2024.
Need a motion to adopt.
Move to adopt.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, let's move. Big sign-up sheet. We're going to move to 3.2B, public comment, and I'm going to read it before we have a public comment period. The time limit for any comment to the board is 3 minutes. Board members are not expected to comment or take any action on matters during public comment. Any individual speaking during public comment shall address the entire board. Any person who willfully interrupts, disturbs, or disrupts the session will be asked to leave the meeting. If you would like to speak to an agenda item or speak in public comment, you must sign up on the sheets at the door. Time limit to speak on the agenda item is also 3 minutes. Please silence all cell phones and electronic devices. So we have Mr. Greg Jenkins.
I'm Greg Jenkins, and I'm from Florida. I'm here working with veterans in crisis. Some of them born and raised here in Avery County, another one's born and raised across North Carolina. One you may know, Jim Tom, a moonshiner, was on TV. His boy's been homeless since he died last year. We just picked him up in Florida. He was on the side of the road, left and abandoned, and we brought him back. I saw Commissioner Phillips last night at dinner with 2 ladies that drove him back up here to get him put back in this society. We told him in Florida he is a transient, because that's what y'all call them here, transients. I went to the opioid settlement fund meeting, asked about opioid settlement funds for veterans and law enforcement. I was told that illegal aliens crossing our borders would be treated, if they were in the office first, over our veterans and our law enforcement officers. Every commissioner was there and witnessed it, except for Mr. Burleson. The sheriff was there, the chief of police for the city of Newland. Our opioid settlement funds are going to go to illegal aliens, while our veterans suffer. That's right here in Avery County. I want it on the record is why I'm here tonight. I want it on the official record that this county commission stands for the funds from the opioid settlement funds being utilized for the treatment of illegal aliens that are invading our nation, flooding our streets with drugs, killing our people, beating our law enforcement officers in these blue cities, New York City, Atlanta, those places. No, it's right here in Avery County, y'all. Every one of these commissioners is aware of it. Our opioid settlement funds that have been given out the last year and this year are going to help illegal aliens over American warriors and law enforcement. They put their lives on the line for the very freedoms that you enjoy to sit here and govern this county. You have no shame. May God have mercy on your souls.
Mr. Jenkins, I'd like to ask you a question, if I may.
You don't have to answer mine, and I don't have to answer yours. I've emailed you 10 times and never got a response.
I'm
Have a good day,
I'm
sir.
gonna answer your question if you'll just wait. I guess not, but I would like to inform this body of the Veterans Affairs. Can you tell me, Mr. Jenkins, you've been before this board numerous times in the last year, year and a half, almost 2 years. You have belittled our employees. You have belittled this board. It's open to interpretation. You have threatened this board. Can you tell me what it is that you want? What is your objective? What do you want this board to do?
I'd like to make it very clear, I've never threatened a person in Avery County in my life. Never
I
threatened a
disagree
person.
with that because you stood right there
Okay.
and you said you knew every one of us, you knew our families,
Yes, sir.
and you knew our children,
Old man Sam Eller talked to me about each and every one of you.
okay?
And told me all about your mama, your grandmama, your great-grandma, great-grandpa, every single one of you, where you come from before I ever addressed the board. Because I didn't want to be an outsider coming in here talking about folks that I didn't know nothing about. So out of respect, I asked people in the community, could you please tell me who I'm going to meet before I talk to them? If that's a threat, sir,
It was the way it was
I
communicated. I
apologize.
said it could be interpreted
yes.
as a threat.
Yeah,
That
well,
would be
you
up
can
to our
interpret,
attorney.
you interpret me as the enemy, and I'm here for veterans and law enforcement.
Okay, let me share this with you.
May I finish my answer, sir?
Yes, sir, you go right.
If you
ahead.
ask me
I'm
a
sorry.
question, allow me the opportunity before you move the goalpost.
Yes, sir, go right ahead.
Please, sir.
Yes, sir, go right ahead.
I've written to each and every one of you before I came to this meeting to handle all of this in private, and I've not gotten one response from one of you. I've come down here, answered the questions of the sheriff, his assistant, the county manager, and I've stated 1,000 times, if not 100,000, I don't want to be here. I want to leave. But I will not leave Avery County until I know that tonight, that veteran that works at Lowe's that just lost his job during the last snowstorm and was walking up Highway 19 on Valentine's Day, that I picked up and brought here and got him taken care of, that fella has a place to stay tonight in Avery County. He doesn't have to go to Asheville, where you sent the Veteran Services Officer last month to go find a place for him to stay. He'll stay right here in Avery County if I have to give up my bed, brother, and sleep on the floor. And what I want from you is that place. And I want the American Opioid Settlement Funds to be utilized for what the law says. The law says for the state of North Carolina and its citizens. It doesn't say for its residents. It doesn't say for illegal aliens. It says for the state of North Carolina and its citizens. And I sat right here, and asked the people that were standing right here while Philip and the county commissioner sat right here with me, is it being spent on illegal aliens? And the answer was yes. Now, I want our warriors that are suffering, we're losing 22 plus a day. I want a place for them to go to if they have a crisis while we're having a meeting. I want them to have a place to go to if they're having a crisis on Friday after 5 p.m. when everybody went home for the weekend. I want them to have a place to go to if all they need is a friend to lean on. That's what I want from y'all. And I've been asking for 2 years in writing. I don't just come up here and talk to y'all. I never put y'all on YouTube. Have I ever put a video of you on YouTube? No. Do you see those people here with me that do that to y'all? No. I don't do that. I'm told that American veterans in Avery County are equal to everybody else. law enforcement are equal to everybody else, including illegal aliens, is what I was told. Sir, if I'd have known that, I don't think I would have put my life on the line in law enforcement or as an American warrior. I think I would have told him to call Woodhall Young. He might do it.
Let me tell you this, the housing urban development, the federal program, are the ones that keep up with unhoused people, including veterans. According to HUD, in 2022, there was a little over 600 unhoused veterans in the state of North Carolina.
Yes, sir.
Today,
Yes, sir.
there are 777
Yes, sir.
in the entire state.
Yes, sir.
Now, I was in contact with the HUD office in Boone today
Yes, sir.
and was told and asked a question. How many unhoused veterans are in Allegheny, Wilkes, Ashe, Watauga, Mitchell, Yancey, and Avery County?
Yes, sir.
The number is 0.
Okay.
Now, the Housing Authority has a very newly refurbished complex in Wilkes County.
Yes, sir.
They have a very newly refurbished place in Yancey County.
Every county should, sir.
Well, they, of course, this is through
Every county in America
through the
should.
Northwestern Regional Housing Authority.
Yes, sir.
They have got a specific number of the apartments in each county that are designated for veterans. They are having a terrible time finding veterans that meet the criteria on income.
I understand, sir. I understand. Can I tell you how they come up with that number? They counted 3 weeks ago. On one day of the year, they went out and did a count and come up with some stupid number.
Well, but
Okay, but I'm just telling you, Wood, that's the honest to God's truth. It's called a point in time count. And they count on the coldest day of the year in North Carolina. They went out there and they counted homeless people in North Carolina. Well, they all went to Florida. That's why we're bringing them home. That's what I just got done telling you. They went to Florida because it's warm. You don't do a point in time count in the middle of winter in the mountains of North Carolina and think that people that are homeless are going to be out on the streets, brother.
our veterans,
Come on, man.
Our veteran services, our DFW and our DAV cannot help people if they don't know they need help.
Brother,
It's hard to
all of
help
them have helped
transient
homeless
people.
with me. Every one that you just mentioned have helped a homeless person with me.
They
The
have.
VFW has, the DAV has, every single organization, the mayor's wife of the city of Elk Park on Memorial Day helped me save a homeless veteran. On Valentine's Day, I saved a homeless veteran here. Okay? I've saved so many homeless, I just told you, Jim Tom, one of the most famous moonshiners in North Carolina, his son is homeless right now, and you just said that there's not one. I just told you, did I not see you, Mr. Phillips, at the restaurant last night? Sitting there with a homeless veteran in Boone. That's Watauga County, sir. And today he's in Avery County. And he's getting ready to go home to his home county where we're putting him a tiny home. Okay? They're here wood fishing in Florida is a whole lot more fun than standing here talking to you, my brother.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
I promise you, I would much rather be fishing than sitting here talking about opioid settlement funds going to illegal aliens instead of our veterans. Good God Almighty. Are you kidding me? I would come to this town and spend over $100,000 of my own money housing veterans if I didn't have to do it? Because there was nothing here at the admission of your veterans services officer There's nothing here for veterans, sir. There's something in Asheville. There's something over yonder. We could take them to the county line and drop them off. We could send them to Tennessee, sir. We can do whatever you want, Woodhull. But I want it on the record today, before Super Tuesday, that you, sir, sat right here in a chair and witnessed me ask these people that you've administered these funds to that they're going to utilize them on illegal aliens. They stood right here and Sheriff Henley witnessed it in the morning meeting and at the evening meeting. God strike me dead where I stand today.
Mr. Jenkins, I believe that's a misrepresentation.
I believe it is. I'm a fool.
It was never said that those funds are going to be used instead of to local citizens.
And I said, if the office is full.
Mr. Jenkins, you have made a misrepresentation I'm trying to correct.
I'll restate my statement.
They were going to be used.
If the office is filled up with the illegals, will the veterans wait outside?
No.
Yes, sir, they will. They will be treated equal as everyone else. We treat all people equal. So if every chair in that office is full, before that veteran gets help, they'll wait outside, sir. Look, man, I'm not the brightest star in the sky, sir. The only reason I asked the question was because I already knew the answer. I just wanted it on the record. But see, y'all don't televise those meetings. You don't put those meetings on YouTube. So I came tonight to put it on the record what transpired.
Thank you.
Okay? And I will continue to do this until which point every veteran from Avery County and every veteran that comes to Avery County has a place to go to get help that they need. And not sent to Asheville, and not sent to Boone, and not sent to Tennessee, and not sent to Raleigh, but taken care of right here by the people of this community. The affluence here is unbelievable. You have over $2 million in the bank tonight, sir, for this town, this county. And you're going to go home and let an American warrior sleep on the streets. I never heard of such a thing. I never heard of such a thing, sir. But the Bible warned us of this. When right is wrong and wrong is right, our nation is being invaded by illegals. And you're going to aid and abet them and give them drug treatment off the backs of Americans that died during an opioid crisis over my dead body.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I have one question.
Okay.
Would you please answer my emails?
You've had your time.
Is that fair?
You've had your
I
time.
answered your
You've had your
question.
time, move on.
Would you please
You've
answer my
had your
email?
time, move on.
They won't answer.
I've never gotten an email from you.
Okay, Miss Hicks, I'll mail it to you certified, ma'am.
We're done with that.
Okay.
Let's move on.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Ms. Vaughn,
I'll
let's call you
never
next
take
in
one.
public comment, please.
Thank you. Don't look nervous, Dylan. All right, well, first off, I want to say I am a product of war. So my dad was in the Vietnam War. That's how I got here, and I am super thankful for every veteran on the planet, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. My little egg would be in some third world country, and I'm happy to be here in the United States. And my mom is one of the largest American citizens, and when I say largest, she's about this tall, but she defends the United States against any country in the world, so I just wanted to add that, but that's not the reason why I'm here. Thank you for letting me speak. I'm sure you're aware that Avery County has been a part of a historical event with the Avery County wrestling team this year. And so not only do we have several boys state individual champions, but this year we were fortunate to compete in the first ever North Carolina State Female Championship, and we came out with a state runner-up, and she did amazing. If you guys didn't see it, it was awesome. And so in my opinion, this wrestling team, this wrestling group, and it is not just the high school, it is the middle school, it's the elementary kids, it's the little tiny kids, it's the families, it's the community, it's the teachers. This is the perfect reflection of when parents, teachers, and the community come together and they just focus on the kids. They turn into champions, getting the kids what they need to succeed. The community and the parents and the teachers have been sacrificing their own time, money, and a lot of times sleep and retirement, according to Hank Harden, and this is what happens. You know, as they say, wrestling is hard, everything else is easy. Okay, so I come to you today asking you for a dedicated facility so that we can continue to grow these boys and girls, right? I'm not sure if you know how much is spent on the sports at our school system, but in comparison of championships to dollars, the return on investment from the wrestling team has been amazing. And I think in the last 4 years, they have proven that they are a dedicated and like worthy adversary, and they are worth an investment, okay? And so that return on investment is so huge that we really need a facility that benefits both the boys and the girls. We don't really have that portion, but the girls have been amazing, troopers about it, they've been just great. And I realize that you're reevaluating or evaluating a recreational facility, and it'd be great if you could incorporate wrestling into this plan, right? And so the requirements for the current wrestling team are not like another team, okay? These guys and girls wrestle a minimum of 5 days a week, and they do it in their free time. And to set up that environment, the mats, everything takes a lot of time. So putting mats up and down and, you know, getting things set up every day is a painstaking process, and it takes away precious time from their practice. If we could have a dedicated space, and we don't need to build one, if we could reuse, I'm all about recycling. You know, if we've got one we could use as long as we could upfit it. Oh no. Anyway, they'd be here with me today, but they're at wrestling practice. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else in public comment? Okay, let's, yes, go ahead.
In case you don't know me, I'm the DSO of Avery County. I just want to say thank you to the commissioners. Y'all have stood behind in everything that I've asked y'all to. Y'all don't know, but I kind of feel it ragged with trying to come up with new ideas and stuff. And they did not send me to Asheville to this facility. What it was is I was trying to look for a place that the veterans could go. Down in Asheville, they have the requirements. They have housing, even for the females, even for the families that don't have, like the kids, they bring up the kids as the veterans' kids. They get them ready. They have rehab centers. They have just amazing facilities. And with the Vietnam Veterans Day, I'd like to thank y'all for the proclamation. I can't say that word on that. I think our Vietnam veterans need to be honored. I have come across so many that don't even want to know that they're Vietnam vets. But, you know, I was looking up, I just thank you all, because I wouldn't be able to do this without y'all and everybody here, because y'all are amazing. Y'all came together and y'all helped me. There's a veterans closet in there, and I mean, it is packed to the gills. We do the nursing facilities, people that have not had clothes. I get them clothes together, somebody comes back here and picks them up. There's food that has been donated, and I'm just happy. I about turned in my resignation like 4 times in the last 2 months, but seriously, it's on my computer just in case. But I just want to thank y'all, and thank you, Philip, for listening to me. I appreciate it, Woody. I appreciate y'all. And whenever you stick your heads in there, that does me good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you very much. Anybody else?
We're gonna have to blow it down.
If not, we'll move on to 3.2C, board appointments. And we need to appoint for the Child Fatality Board, and her name is Kelly Bass, and I need a motion to approve.
I make the motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next, we have a review for applicant for the Morrison Amy Regional Library Board, and those are, okay, somebody help me say this, Margaret Early Field, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, I got that right, good, for me. And that will be for review, and we'll vote on that next meeting. So we'll move right along to 3.3A, County Commissioner staff items, High Country RPO, and Avery County Transportation Products, Mr. David Graham.
Yes. Got some handouts in my presentation if y'all.
And you want the clicker for that?
Yeah, that'd be great. Is it working?
Okay, so everybody's on the way to see this. Since you got that,
That's kind of why I brought
do
handouts.
this. Okay.
Is that? Let me see. Just hit that button there.
Caleb?
Help me out, Caleb.
Oh, power.
There is something in there, I guess it's the same. Yes, it is the same.
Yeah, I think so.
That's in the packet.
Okay. Caleb, why don't you?
Somebody younger than me will have to figure that out.
No, I can change it. Yeah, that's perfect, yeah. Okay, Chairman, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here tonight, and Avery County Board of Commissioners, I appreciate that. Gave you all a handout. So I'm here this evening basically just to give you all an overview of the High Country RPO and transportation projects in Avery County. And so RPO stands for Rural Planning Organization, and we're housed in the High Country Council of Governments. So I'll just kind of move through the presentation. I got a handout. Does everyone have one? Needs one? Okay, super. So the High Country RPO consists of 7 counties and 19 towns. So I work with, if I'm doing the math right, that's 26 local governments that I work with here. And the RPO was formed back in 2022. The core functions of the High Country RPO are the prioritization of transportation projects for the State Transportation Improvement Program, or STIP for short. The world of transportation is loaded with acronyms, so if I say one and you don't know what it is, call me out on it. Another one of our core functions are the development of comprehensive transportation plans in partnership with the North Carolina Department of Transportation. We also provide transportation-related information to local governments and other interested parties, as well as provide a forum for public participation in the rural transportation planning process. So the RPO consists of 2 committees. The Rural Transportation Coordinating Committee, which is comprised of approximately 50 members. Members include representatives from the counties and towns that I had mentioned before, and it's primarily the managers of those towns and counties. The Chamber of Commerce, the Council of Governments, public transportation providers have a seat. Appalachian State University, since it's the largest educational institution in our region. There's NCDOT engineers from Division 11 and 13, as well as NCDOT Planning Division. And we even have a seat for the National Park Service, since the lovely Blue Ridge Parkway, one of the finest national parks in the country, goes through every single one of our counties. In this group, the RTCC serves as a recommending body to the Rural Transportation Advisory Committee, and I'll get to them here in a second. And we meet quarterly, the month of February, May, August, and November on the 3rd Wednesday. So I'll go ahead and move over to the Rural Transportation Advisory Committee. This group is comprised of approximately 20 members. These members include elected officials from the high country counties and municipalities, as well as a representative from the NCDOT Board of Transportation. This group serves as the final approval authority for the high country RPO for the program and various transportation related items. Similar to the RTCC, they meet quarterly, months of February, May, August, and November. And they, for volunteering their time to serve on this board, they get to file ethics paperwork that discloses what their real estate interests are and all that stuff. So I can't thank them enough for volunteering their time and having to do things like that to be on the board. So I'm going to go ahead and transition. Thank you, Caleb. You're doing a great job. Transition to Avery County Comprehensive Transportation Plan. And there should be a shot of that. So this document was done back in 2014. Why are they needed? You might be asking yourself, why does David do these comprehensive transportation plans? So these provide an analysis and recommendations that are a basis for prioritizing transportation projects by the High Country RPO. Increasingly, projects should be identified in a mutually adopted CTP to be eligible for inclusion in the STIP. It also coordinates local growth, land use, and comprehensive plans with regional and statewide plans. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty a little bit. What is a CTP exactly? As I looked at that slide, I was like, my grammar teacher back in elementary school probably would have given me a hard time, because I don't think that's done right. It should be, what exactly is a CTP, I believe is what it's supposed to say. But anyway, so it is a long-range, multimodal transportation plan for a town, city, group of towns, cities, or a county. Typically, the High Country RPO does this on the county level. It is a concept for a broad range of improvements, and it has a planning period up to 25 to 30 years out. It represents a vision for the community or county that we're working in. They are developed cooperatively between NCDOT, RPO staff, and a local stakeholder group, also known as a steering committee of local representatives. It incorporates land use plans, community and statewide goals. Elements include highway, public transportation and rail, bicycle, pedestrian, and aviation analysis. So now I'll move on to the state transportation investment law. So this is a funding formula for NCDOT's capital expenditures. The focus of this law is to improve mobility, expansion, and modernization of projects for all modes of transportation in North Carolina. It was signed into law back in June of 2013 under House Bill 817 and considered the most significant transportation legislation since 1989. So now we'll go to the next slide there, Caleb. So how does STI work? What is embedded in the law is what's called the Strategic Mobility Formula, where 40% of the funds go directly to statewide mobility projects, and those projects address significant congestion and bottlenecks in the state. And selection is based 100% on data by NCDOT. So it's crash data, congestion, safety, things of that nature. The next tier is the regional impact tier, as you can see in green. If you want to just keep hitting that button, Caleb, it'll all show up there. And these projects are intended to improve connectivity within a region. And selection is based on 70% quantitative, data by NCDOT, and then also 30% local input. And so that's where the RPO comes in handy. We can allocate points to transportation projects but we have to split that 30% with our division. So we get 15% and they get 15%. And so for projects that don't get funded at the statewide, they cascade down to the regional and then don't get funded there. Then there's the last pot of money, which is the division needs. And these projects are intended to address local needs in our area. Selections based on 50% NCDOT data, and then 50% local input, which we share with Division 11 and Division 13, 25% and 25%. This could be a presentation in and of itself that could last hours. But I'm just trying to give you an overview of the mechanics of transportation project prioritization. So where do projects come from? So that is done through a project solicitation process of the 7 high country counties in the town of Boone. Town of Boone has their own because it's the most populous town in our region, so they get their own submittals. And that is typically done through county and town managers. I am constantly terrorizing Philip over transportation projects and trying to set up meetings.
And I call you?
Yes,
Terrorizing you.
likewise, yeah. Projects submitted as a result of this solicitation projects are typically selected from comprehensive transportation plans because the work's been done. It identifies through that CTP process where the trouble spots are, and Philip's wonderful about paying attention to that. Each project is scored using specific criteria, as I mentioned before: crash data, traffic data, consistency with the comprehensive transportation plan, connectivity, and it goes on and on and on. And that is all for consideration for funding in the State Transportation Improvement Program. So the next slide I've got identifies projects that are currently in the 2024-2033 STIP. We've got our 5911, which is the US 19E NC 194 intersection, and they're still working on that one. So the good news is, as it stands today, it's a committed project and will be delivered.
Under contract.
Under contract. Thank you, buddy. The next two in the STIP are R5902, which is NC 184 from 105 to Hickory Nut Gap Road in Banner Oak. This project is in the State Transportation Improvement Program. However, it is not funded because right-of-way or construction has not been scheduled within the first 5 years. So this will be a candidate for this current prioritization cycle that we're in. If you want to go ahead and shift to the next one, it gives us I'm a visual guy. This kind of shows a map of these projects I'm talking about right now. And then the third is our 2520A, which is US 19E, multi-lane section east of Spruce Pine to Mullen Hill Road. Similar to the NC 184 project, not funded. That said, it still can be something that's considered for this upcoming STIP. But hopefully y'all can see that map in your packets. It's a little small, but it is what it is. So not too long ago, I solicited transportation projects from Philip, and as well as all the other county managers. And so the new projects submitted, there you go, thanks Caleb, for the 2026-2035 STIP, which this is updated every 2 years. So every 2 years, bring in Philip's phone line. So these projects are US 19E, and that's wide US 19E to 12-foot lanes with 4 to 5 foot paved shoulders to accommodate bicycles from Squirrel Creek Road to Minneapolis School Road. The next one is NC 105, extend climb lane into the NC 184 intersection and include additional turning lanes at the NC 184-105 intersection to Watauga River Road. And then the next one down is NC 105, NC 184 intersection, just looking at that intersection by itself. And then the last one, construct new terminal building and hangar building at the airport. So I'll back up to those middle two, the 105 and the 105 NC 184 intersection. What we're trying to do here is figure out which project is gonna score the best. So that's why both of those are being submitted. So, you know, if Philip decides he wants to pursue one or the other, this will give us the best possible chance to get the improvements that are needed in that area. Because I think everybody in this room knows that the NC 105 and 184 intersection is a hot mess when it comes to congestion in Avery County. So we're working our best to try to identify where that is. I'll go also back up to the US 19E project. You're probably wondering, Caleb, if you want to go to the map, that'd be great. You might be wondering, why just that little piece out there? What's going on? Well, I work closely with NCDOT corridor development engineers, and we look at detailed data for these facilities, and that is the best scoring piece to submit. So you probably would think, why not the whole thing? It'll just dilute the score, and it will get nowhere.
Piece at a time.
A piece at a time. That was the best scoring piece. That's why it looks like it does. So we're fingers crossed that'll get picked up. And then that's the map there. And then the last slide just is coordination with NCDOT. Just to let you all know, I am in constant contact with NCDOT Division 11 and 13 regarding various transportation projects and matters, inquiries from the public and inquiries from local governments. In constant contact with the Transportation Planning Division to develop these comprehensive transportation plans. Just kicked off the Avery County study, the Allegheny County study. Got our second meeting coming up next week. And basically, I'm a conduit of information between local governments and NCDOT. So if there are transportation issues that y'all are wrestling with, I'm not saying I know the answers to everything, but if there's things, you just let Philip know, he'll reach out to me. And I know a lot of folks, I've been doing this a long time. I can, if I don't know the answer, I can certainly track it down for you. So I'm gonna shut up now. Thanks for not timing me, Philip. I appreciate that. I would have went over. But thank you for having me this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Ray.
David, I want to thank you for coming. I work very closely with David every night. If you do have a question about a road in Avery County, call him. If he doesn't know the answer, he will get it promptly. And I appreciate that.
Thank you for being the chair of the board, too. Really, I do appreciate that. All right. Y'all have a good evening.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Is this an agenda item to be spoken on? I'd like to speak.
She signed it.
All right. Just sign the sheet.
I signed up to speak on agenda item.
Okay.
Okay, go right ahead.
Thank you, sir.
Where is the summit?
He's got it.
Public comment, no, I press public comment.
I'll go back in.
Was that fellow with High Country?
High Country Council Government.
That's what I thought. And do they also do the Boone traffic planning and all? I went to Boone, the traffic was horrible. It was the worst traffic I've seen around this place. The High Country Council of Governments is the ones that told me that the money would be spent on illegal aliens. The same
This
organization.
is speak on the agenda item.
Yeah, I'm speaking on the, I am, on the transportation. The traffic in Boone, in case you didn't catch what I said,
I did catch it.
is horrible. And I don't know who's been planning it, but they ought to be fired. In my opinion. Okay? I built major freeways around the city of Atlanta. As a government contractor, a service-connected, disabled, veteran-owned business. It had local, state, federal, and private funding. I maintain those highways as well. I know a little bit about transportation. In Miami, the traffic is horrible. And the people that are planning it should be fired as well. What I'm saying is, if you want the same thing that they've done in other places, keep doing what you're doing and keep using the people that you're using. They're the same people that are spending your money on illegal aliens.
Thanks, sir. Okay. Let's move right along to 3.3, B, Tax Administrator Report on the Turberville, and also review of the Board of Equalization and Review.
Good evening. Excuse me. Please approve our collections for the month of February. $259,048.09.
Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We had no releases this month, but I do have a refund request. We, in a nutshell, swapped house plans on a house and we discovered it and we want to refund the original owner. If you can approve that.
Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Our revaluation sales for 2024, this past month, we had 41 sales. Our sales ratio at that point, just of that month, was 61%. Last year, we had 45 sales and we were at 63%. I just wanted to let you know those. And then the last thing in our packet are the applications for your consideration for the Board of Equalization and Review. The board will convene on April 8th and last through April 22nd at 3 p.m. The members are that we have applications for are Nancy Owen, Clay Pat Dale, Aaron Thiel, Dee Dee Trader, and David Smith.
Okay. And those will be up for review and we'll vote on them next meeting.
And I just have to brag on the folks in our office. They're, we're half new and they're learning and moving along and making my life a whole lot easier. So I just wanted to throw that out there that they're doing big things for us. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to speak on that item, Mr. Phillips.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I think, my name is Greg Jenkins and I'm still from Florida. I think we collected enough taxes, according to this lady, that we could build a nice place. With the revenue from last month, we could build a nice place for our veterans that are suffering off that tax revenue in itself. And I think you have the authority to make that happen, each and every one of you. And I think you ought to make it a priority of your authority to do so. ASAP. I think every month I come up here and I listen to how much taxes are collected, and every month I look around and I see people going elsewhere looking for solutions instead of right here in Avery County. So if y'all would be so kind as to use that tax revenue for our American warriors that provide the freedom and prosperity that you enjoy every single day, it would be greatly appreciated.
Thanks, sir. Okay. Let's go to 3.3C, resolution to award retired school resource officer Natalie Pitt for site. Mr. Brady, you want to read that?
I can. So before you board is a resolution, whereas North Carolina General Statute Section 20-187.2 authorizes the Avery County Board of Commissioners to award the sidearm to a retiring member of the Sheriff's Office at the time of their retirement, providing that such individual meets the qualifications. And whereas the Avery County Sheriff's Office has in its possession a sidearm being a Glock 45 9mm for retired school resource officer Natalie Cook, and whereas the county deems this item to be surplus property, now therefore, the Avery County Board of Commissioners meeting at its regular meeting on March 4th, 2024, hereby resolves that the sidearm being a Glock 45 9mm is surplus and shall be awarded to retired school resource officer Natalie Cook for due consideration, such sum being the amount of $1. This the 4th day of March, 2024.
Need a motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Need to move to 3.3D, resolution regarding Avery Parks and Recreation Building.
The board before you is a resolution regarding the Avery County Parks and Recreation Building. Whereas the county solicited bids for the design services for the purpose of the Avery Parks and Recreation Building, which requires the initial solicitation and evaluation of firms to perform architectural, engineering, surveying, and construction management, and at-risk services and build design services, the same to be based on qualifications without regard to fee, whereas the county desires to select CPL Architecture, Engineering, and Planning to provide initial architectural services for the Avery County Parks and Recreation Building project, and whereas the estimated fee for the initial design services for the Parks and Recreation Building is $101,350. Now therefore, the Avery County Board of Commissioners authorizes proposal attached hereto with CPL Architecture, Engineering, and Planning for the Avery County Parks and Recreation Building project and the payment of services of the same. This resolution is effective upon its adoption this the 4th day of March, 2024.
Discussion.
Just a minute. Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion?
I don't know if you all have been notified, called, run down to the grocery store, service stations or whatever since we had this meeting, but I have been multiple times. And there are people in the county that think we're moving too fast. That think that maybe the community should have some input on what goes into this building before we move forward. As you all know, we appointed Parks and Rec Department Committee at our last meeting, I think. These members that were appointed have not even been notified officially that they're on the committee, nor have the ones that are not on the committee been notified that they are not on the committee. There's a lot of question as to what we're doing and why, and people think we're moving too fast.
Part of this process to get this done is to have community input. That's part of the process of going through all this. And as far as I know, and I haven't, but the ones that have come to me have been notified. So, I mean, I can't speak for all of them, but I can speak for the ones that came to me.
I've talked with two that
Yeah.
have not been officially notified.
And, but that's, that's my comment. Any other comment from anybody?
Well, I have a comment.
Okay.
I've been stopped in the grocery store. I've had phone calls and they want to know why it's moving so fast. Well, I've got the same attitude because we have not looked at our budget for this year. And we don't know what that will be. And we keep taking out the general fund we're not gonna have any money to pay the employees and stuff with. And we just heard this past week if they needed to be work done at the high school on the Pod 500 jet. We don't know what that'll cost. And I feel like that we do need to wait till we get the budget done and see what we've got in the funds before we take on another project.
When we first began to discuss this a couple of months ago, I very specifically stated that rather than moving forward with the project without information, we needed some information and data to work from, and that's what we're doing right now. Part of this responsibilities from this company was to engage in community input. That's one of the things that there is no design right now. There is no function right now. They are going to be meeting with members of the public, with people at the current recreation center, with elected officials, nonprofits, and using all those points of contact to try to form what it would look like, and then develop a plan and a budget from that. And I agree that we should not commit to moving forward with the project at this point, because we don't know what that's going to look like or how much it's going to be. This was, in order to make that decision, I felt that we had to have some parameters, and we had to have some kind of a budget and some kind of a design to look for. And that's all in the process of being done. We're not rushing to start construction. We are moving forward to try to determine where we're going to next. And this, the design purposes and the functions are not free. And we have to be able to fund this design and the input to kind of know where we're going. And we welcome and certainly want the input from the citizens, because this is going to be something that'll be substantial and a real benefit to every citizen in the county, and that's what we're trying to do. So we are not moving forward to start building, but I think we do have to move forward to begin to get some kind of an idea of what we're going to be looking at some point in the future, whenever that may be.
So do you not think that we can have public input for a whole lot less than $101,000?
Well, that we have to take that public input then and pass it along to someone to draw up a design and a plan to figure out how much it's going to cost to implement that public plan. And that's going to be part of their process, and collecting that data and putting it into a form that would be usable by those folks. I would rather the third party be responsible for that.
And I think this is a question we've kicked down the road. I mean, they has been, even before my time, has been kicked down the road for years and years. The building's not, we're not doing this for, we're doing this for all citizens. I mean, the design that some of us we've talked about have in mind is to have a walking track up above for senior citizens, for younger adults, for older adults, and courts for children, and different rooms in there to, you know, to benefit all the citizens. And this is just a small part of, as Dennis said, moving forward with the process so we can have a plan and see what it's going to cost us, because we don't know till we spend this money to have a plan and a process. So, but that's where I and
a portion of this will be used and applied towards the architectural work that will be done should the project move forward.
That's right.
I mean, I don't want you to go away from here and say I'm against the rec building, because I am not. I'm 100% in favor of it. But I think that we're going a little too fast.
And I will tell you, I'm not against the rec building, but we have obligations to do for 2024 and 2025 in the budget. And then we could talk if we've got money left that we can spare to do this, then we could make a decision after the budget's made.
Yeah, and I don't think this decision will be made till after the budget's finalized. I mean, as far as spending any more money than what they're asking for right here. But anyway, you want to speak on this?
Yes, sir. I'm Greg and I'm from Florida still. I want to talk about not just this, but this specific contract didn't go out to any minority-owned businesses.
They didn't apply.
It didn't go out to them, okay?
It was advertised.
Okay, let me ask Mr. Barrier again, I guess. In the last 3 years, how many veteran contractors have you given contracts to in Avery County? The answer is 0.
All that have applied,
It would be 0.
none have applied, Mr. Jenkins.
Can I speak without being, I don't interrupt you, sir. I don't speak when you speak, sir. May I? May I have an opportunity to speak uninterrupted, or I'll wait?
Go ahead. It's your turn, go ahead.
I'm just talking about veterans.
Okay, go ahead.
Service-connected disabled veterans that got messed up in war, that own businesses, that should get a percentage of all Avery County contracting. It's not being done. It's not happening in Avery County, and it has not happened in Avery County. I did the public records request. I'm not lying. I have it in writing from Mr. Barrier. If I'm lying, he's lying. What I'm asking is this. I don't care if you do the rec center or you don't. But if you do the rec center, I request that you afford a service-connected, disabled, veteran-owned business the opportunity to draw the plans. I suggest that you afford a woman-owned business an opportunity to draw the plans, and you give them priority over anybody and everybody else that's drawing plans. That's according with the state and federal policy. That's not something that I'm making up, sir. This is what the state of North Carolina does. This is what the United States government does. This is what local towns and counties do commonly. It's very common practice. I read a thing about a cooler being replaced. I called a boy in Nashville, Special Forces, owns the largest cooler company in Tennessee. He said he'd come do it. He got shot up in Fallujah. Y'all think I'm making this stuff up? I'm not. I'm just asking if you go ahead with this project, please make it the first one that you set aside for a veteran-owned business. The first one in the history of this county. Please do it. That's all I'm asking.
Okay. Well, we need a motion and a second for the resolution regarding the Avery Parks and Recreation Building.
So I think we have a motion and a second.
Okay, we did that one. We need a vote. All in favor say aye, or raise your hand, we'll do it that way. Okay. Any opposed? Okay. Let's move along to 3.3E, resolution authorizing upset bid process.
And if I may, Madam Attorney, I will turn this over to you.
Okay. So the board has declared the old building known as the Avery Cares building as surplus and has listed it for sale. There have been 2 offers made on the property, and those are included in the agenda packet. So as part of that process, anyone who makes an offer on the property has to make a deposit paid into the clerk to the board. And those deposits have been made for each of the offers that are included in the packet. There is, so the board has to do 2 things tonight. The first thing is the board has to decide whether or not to accept one of the 2 offers that are in front of you. And then if you accept one of those offers, the board needs to make a decision on how the upset bid process will be handled. Because once the board accepts an offer on that, there is an upset bid period. So notice of that offer would be published in the paper, and other individuals would have the opportunity to come in for a 10-day period and place upset bids. So there were 2 offers, and the first one was for $125,000, and the second one was for $130,000.
So how would we handle that? Do we need a motion to accept one of them, or?
So I guess if the board could tell me which one that the board would consider to approve, and then we can discuss the upset bid options. And then do it all in one.
I move to approve the $130,000 offer.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Okay, and then that offer, there are 2 ways the board can look at the upset bid process. If you can look at the proposed draft resolution that's in your packet, under paragraph 3, you can see that the board chooses one or the other of these 2 options. So basically, what would happen is there would be a notice published in the paper saying that there is an upset bid process open for 10 days. So what the board needs to choose is A, that 10-day period would be held open and individuals would submit a sealed bid, and all those would be open at the end of a 10-day period. And then if there is a higher bid, then that would start a new 10-day upset bid period. Or the board could say that once we get one offer that is higher, that meets the requirements of the higher bid, then that starts a new 10-day period. You wouldn't be holding it open for 10 days to see how many offers might come in. You would just say the first offer is higher, we're going to go ahead and start a new 10-day period. So that's the board's choice on how the board wants to do that.
I think the last way.
I think, and the option B that you spoke of there, when that second bid comes in, it's automatic. If it's legitimate and covers all the restraints of the contract and has the deposit in hand, then if that would automatically be accepted, and the 10-day override period would then come into effect again.
So if the board can look at paragraph 5 of that resolution, for a new bid to come in to be considered a qualifying bid, it has to be, the first $1,000 has to be increased by 10% of the amount, and then 5% of the remainder of the offer. So that's just, and then that person would also have to pay a deposit into the clerk of the board.
Well, I'm assuming we need a motion on which option we would want to use here.
So that would be the
option B.
So I understand the second option set out in paragraph 3.
Yeah. Well, I need a motion for that.
I would move that we accept the proposal for the option B as described above for the upset bid process.
Need a second.
I'll say.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And you want to speak on that?
Greg, I'm from Florida. Again, this building could be a public use building utilized for veterans in the Avery County community because there's nothing in Avery County for veterans. And that building would probably fit if it's the one that I'm thinking of. The other thing is any of that considered before you consider it, what's it called? Excess property? What's the proper term?
Surplus.
Surplus property. If it becomes surplus property within the county, there should be a discussion of where the property could be utilized. Was there a public meeting held, or was there any input from the community? Or I'm not sure how that transpired, but I think that it may be a facility that would fit for veterans. Or you could sell the property for whatever it goes to the highest bidder for, or your buddy for, or whatever, and then you could use that money to actually fund a project for veterans in Avery County. I think that'd be an awesome idea too. So whatever you guys want to do, I just think that before surplus property goes on the auction block, it should be considered for public use by the community for, I think veterans would be a pretty good cause.
And if I can, for the board, the resolution, if the one that's in the packet is the proposed resolution on the first offer that was received, if I could have a motion for the board to adopt the resolution with the change being that it would be the offer for $130,000 submitted by Mr. Underwood, and that you've already had the option B with option B indicated.
So we need a motion to approve that
For the
adoption for
whole resolution.
$130,000 for Mr. Underwood with the changes.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the resolution as amended to reflect the offer that was accepted.
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Let's go to 3.4, County Commissioner reports and requests. County Manager report, Philip Barrier Jr.
Okay, first, Board, I will bring you up to date on the opioid settlement. So we did hold our public input sessions. There were 2 opportunities on February 20th. Again, I want to thank High Country Council of Governments for their input and help. Sarah Price has been worth her weight in gold, which is not a whole lot, but she's done a wonderful job. The website has been updated on the Avery County website page about those meetings, and we do hope to open applications soon to take applications for the spending for the 24-25 fiscal year on the opioid settlement money. So is there any questions from the board on that? Secondly, I was going to talk about broadband and the CAB program. So I got a letter on the 29th, Thursday the 29th. We're ready to begin posting the CAB program scopes of work for individual counties in March. The team will contact the counties that have submitted and completed their county commitment form, which Avery County has done, and schedule a time to meet to answer any questions we will have with the finalizing the scope of work and the process in our county. So if I can believe this email that I received Thursday, we should be doing something this month on the CAB grant. So I will keep everyone posted, and we'll keep that updated on the website and Facebook also. And that's all I have for tonight.
Okay.
I'd like to comment on that.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Just on the part about the opioid settlement funds, I noticed on the website it didn't say anything about illegal aliens being treated with those funds. And I also noticed in the Avery Journal-Constitution, they had my picture on there. But I noticed that it didn't say anything about those funds being used for illegal aliens, because I believe that those funds being used for illegal aliens wouldn't set too right with the people of Avery County, with the people of the state of North Carolina, and with the people of the United States of America. So if you would update the website to reflect that those funds will be utilized to care for illegal aliens it would be greatly appreciated so that we have some transparency with the way these opioid settlement funds are being utilized. Just for the record.
Yeah, thank you. Let's move to 3.A2, resolution to name the bridge on Reference Street in honor of our state representative and Senator James Jim Hughes.
So board, before you have a resolution, whereas James Hughes, AKA Jim Hughes, was a native of Avery County and lived in Limble community, sorry, not Limble Falls, has been deceased for more than a year. And whereas James Hughes spent several years assisting others with hardships they faced in Avery County. And whereas James Hughes was a veteran and served our country in World War II. And whereas an application has been made to the North Carolina Department of Transportation to name the bridge crossing the Limble River on Ruffin Street in Limble, being State Bridge number 1349 in Avery County for James Hughes. And whereas the proposal to name the bridge was placed on the agenda of the Avery County Board of Commissioners tonight and the public had a chance to comment. Whereas the board considers and passes the resolution in a public forum, and whereas the board has followed any local road naming policies and procedures, and whereas the Avery County Commissioners support the naming of the bridge crossing the Limble River and on Ruffin Street, being said bridge 1349 in Avery County for James Hughes. Now therefore be it resolved that the Avery County Board of Commissioners recommend to the North Carolina Department of Transportation that the bridge crossing the Limble River on Ruffin Street be named the James Hughes Bridge.
Move to adopt.
Second. Anybody got a second?
Second.
I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
I thought I heard it say.
Yeah,
I didn't
I
hear
did
it.
too.
I'm sorry.
I did too.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And would any of the family like to speak in public comment?
Thank you so much. We appreciate this. We feel like our dad deserved it.
I believe he did.
Thank you. Okay. We'll go to 3.4B, the finance officer report. Mr. Caleb Hogan.
Good evening, board.
Good evening.
I have 3 items for your consideration this evening. Item number 1, the Department of Social Services has received an insurance reimbursement for the 2019 Dodge Journey. Requests the board to approve the following budget amendment to debit auto supplies $6,100, $3,100, $1,153, and credit insurance reimbursements $1,153.
Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Need a second.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, board. Item number 2, the sheriff's office is requesting funding to purchase 4 new sheriff's vehicles along with the necessary upfitting, undercoating, and striping. Request the board to approve the following budget amendment to debit capital outlay auto $242,514 and to credit fund balance appropriated $242,514.
Need a motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 3, in an effort to offset the burden of increased energy and heating expenses for low-income households, the Avery County Board of Commissioners is committing $50,000 to the County Energy Assistance Program. Request the board to approve the following budget amendment to debit County Energy Assistance Program $50,000 and credit fund balance appropriated $50,000.
Need a motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, board. That's all I have for you this evening.
Thank you,
Unless you have anything for me.
Okay. Move right on to 3.4C.
I'd like to comment, Mr. Phillips.
Okay.
I'd like to know if those funds to be, that he was just getting approved $50,000 for utilities, is that also gonna go to illegal aliens living here? Can they get those funds, or do they have to be a citizen of this state and of this nation? I'd like to know that. If an illegal alien can go down there and say, hey, I can't pay my electric bill this month, will y'all help me?
That money goes to the Department of Social Services to be dispensed according to state standards.
Right, and the answer is?
To be dispensed according to state standards.
And the answer is, will it go to illegals or not?
I don't know who that is.
You don't know the state standards, but you approve the funds.
I trust my DSS.
I do too, sir. Don't pit me against anybody. I trust every one of you. You're gonna do the right thing. But when you don't, I'm gonna call you out on it. And I'm not here to make friends. So my question is, if we're gonna put up $50,000 of county money to help people with utilities, is it going to illegal aliens in Avery County? I'll leave that on the records for you.
Thank you.
Because it's my opinion that it is. Just like the opioid settlement funds.
Thank you, sir. Okay, let's move to 3.4C, County Attorney Report. Mr. Ford, do you have anything?
I do not have anything that requires the board's attention.
Thank you, ma'am. Move to staff reports and requests. Anything?
We don't have any, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Then we need to move on to closed session. You have a closed session, Mr. Ford?
Yes, I have a matter I need to discuss with the board in
Okay.
closed session. It will be attorney-client privilege.
All right. We're gonna go into closed session under attorney-client privilege GS 143-318.11A3, and I need a motion to go out of open session into closed session.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And we'll invite all the commissioners, county manager, Mr. Ford, and Cindy, and I guess that's it. All right.
You're
It's ready, hang on. He's trying to get us back online. Okay.
All right, we are back in regular session and no vote was taken, so we'll move right along to 3.7, approval of minutes for February the 5th, 2024, regular meeting. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And we're to 3.8, agenda consent items, and we have, everybody has seen those.
Mr. Chairman, 3.7, approval of the minutes.
We already
We already
did
did
I'm
that.
sorry, you just did that.
Okay.
Mr.
Sorry.
Phillips, am I allowed to see the agenda consent items? I don't know what those are. Is that for the public?
Yes, it is.
How do we see those?
You'll have to,
Philip can show them to us.
you can show them.
Yeah.
Do you need to see them right now, or do you just want
No,
to see them?
sir, I don't wanna
Okay.
take up your time. If
Okay.
Philip will show them to me after the meeting,
All right.
that'll be fine.
Okay.
That'd be great. If there's no questions on those, we'll approve those by consent.
No, we do
I do
have
have
one.
an
We
amendment.
do have a
We do
minute.
have one to pull out.
Oh, yeah, I see it, I'm sorry, my fault.
So on the MOA for the extension office,
Right,
on page 9, under Agent Ag and Natural Resources, the salary percentage in the MOA is 100. That needs to be crossed out, and 50 written in before the chair signs and you all adopt these by consent. So it's 50%
right,
of that salary. It's the county's responsibility,
Right.
not 100.
right. Okay,
Thank you.
no, thank you. All right, 3.9, informational items.
Are you adopting those by consensus?
Yeah. And with that one change, we will adopt those by consent. Okay. Informational items, Phil, anything you need to know?
Just make sure everyone has on their calendar the grand opening for the new DSS on March 22nd. That's Friday, the 22nd, from 2 to 4. And I believe that's,
Next meeting is
April 1st.
April the 1st. Okay, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Let's go home.
What are those items, Phil?
I'll let him this morning. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
so.